Welcome to Arts and Crafts with Steve McDonald. Please hit that subscribe button if you'd like to see more videos on the exciting stuff that I make. Hello, today I'm going to be doing some pendant jewellery casting. I've got a silicone mould here. I've mixed up my silicone and I'm using this silicone here. There we go. So it should cure quite quickly actually. That one normally cures in about 12 hours and it should be bubble free as well because that's what it claims to be, bubble free. So what I'm going to be doing first is I'm going to be pouring a very thin background to it, and I weaved these in wire using Kumihimo, and these are just the offcuts that I've got quite a lot of those. So once the base is virtually dry, then I'm going to put a clear coat over with maybe a piece of that in it somewhere, because I don't want to waste it, and actually I really like it. So we're just going to see how it goes. Now I'm going to mix silver in here, and I've got a little bit of silver acrylic paint, which is that one, and I shall be using that, but I shall also be putting a little bit of mica in there as well. And then I'm going to prep some gold backs as well to do something similar. So I've pre-mixed my resin. I'm just going to pop some silver mica in there because I do like it quite sparkly. Okay, there we go. And there's only a tiny little daub of the silver acrylic paint in there, so I'm just going to pour in a bit in there. If that's enough, we will see. Okay, let's centralise that up. Let's move that out of the way. Just give that a mix. Now, as I said, this resin is advertised as being bubble free. Now, as much as we would love it to be completely bubble free, it is not bubble free, but I have to say it does reduce the bubbles considerably, and it is an epoxy resin and it is designed for casting as well. I've used it quite a lot. You'll see it on some of my other videos, and you'll know that it's always been successful. So there we go. So there's the first bit mixed. So let's pour that in. Now I don't want that too deep because obviously I just really want it to dry and be the background, because I will pour over that again with a clear. I just want that effect there for the base. I've got enough to make a couple of these, or probably 3 of these, I hope. There we go, that's all in, and that shouldn't take too long to dry. I can probably re-pour over this in about 4 hours, to be honest, although it's not a very warm day today, and that does make a big difference. But I have warmed the resin up in, when I mix it, I always mix it in a pot of warm water to allow me to get fewer bubbles, and it mixes a lot quicker as well. You get better result from it, and you will see that again on one of my previous videos. And if you like the stuff that I do with resin and other arts and crafts and alcohol inks and the experiments I do a lot of experiments, so you don't have to, then please subscribe, hit that little bell, and I try and get videos out as often as I can, but they're always out on a Sunday, and that way you won't miss out and you'll get the videos. Right, so that's the first part of that done. I'm just literally going to go over that with a lighter rather than a blowtorch. And the reason I'm using a lighter is because I actually don't want to destroy, because this is quite low in here. The gas is going in this. I'm going to have to fill it up. Maybe I will have to go over it with a torch. But I'll just have to be very careful, because actually you can damage the silicone mould with a torch, and then it makes it really difficult to get it out. But there isn't many bubbles in this. And there we go. So once that's hardened, I will probably put that one straight down the middle and put a clear coat over it. One there like that, and possibly one at an angle or two. Depends how much wire I've got left. And as you can see, I always overweave when I'm doing Kumihimo wire work. There we go. See you in a minute. So we're now at the stage where the base coat of the resin is actually quite dry. It's been curing for 24 hours. And as you can see here, I've added the wire in where I wanted it. I just cut it to the desired length using my cutters. But I also have added some more colours in with the resin. And of course I've added a bit of bling as well, because I just thought that would be nice to add a bit of bling, and you can't beat a bit of bling. So I've mixed up the resin, and now I want to pour this in quite slowly because I've actually got these positioned where I want them. So I don't really want them to move. I perhaps could have glued them down, but I'm hoping that this will be enough not to have to glue them down. And there we go. Now, I've only mixed up a little bit of resin because I don't want to waste the resin, and if I need to mix up a little bit more, then I can. And that should be now taking its places where it was, and this resin isn't actually moving the wire or the bling, which is good. And it does look like I've mixed up ample, which is great. So what we'll do is we'll let those sit again for perhaps another few hours. But before I do that, I obviously will, oh, one of them has slightly moved, the bit of bling in the middle one. So I will just move that a little bit to ensure that that's straight. And what I hope these are going to do, but obviously it's the first time I've used wire or whatever in the pendants mould, I'm hoping they're going to slightly dome as opposed to anything else. So I'm going to use this stick just to straighten that up. There we go, I've straightened that up nicely. I'm going to wait for a few seconds, and then I'm going to go over it with my torch and get rid of any bubbles that are in there. And actually, I'm just going to let that do its own thing. Let's see if there's any resin left in this. No, cool, that was well measured. There's a tiny bit in there. I'll put that in there. Don't know why, just think I will. And actually, these little drops here I'm about to put in were on my silicone mat from when I used a different colour. And I just think they're really quite nice. And they've made a really nice little circle. Unfortunately, I don't want to put them in like that because they just look like eyes. Unfortunately, I didn't get many. There's one there. That's not quite circular, but that's quite a nice shape. Let's see if we can pick that up and put that in. Let's pick something else up now. Oh, I'm making a mess. I do like to make a mess, as you probably are aware. I'm also using a new mic today, and I'm hoping that new mic is going to improve the quality of my sound if I've used it correctly. So we will see as well. So please let me know in the comments whether you think the second part of this video, the sound is better than the first part or any different, because the first part was used with my old mic and the second part is my new mic, because I want to make sure that the sound quality is good for everybody. So let's move those in. So there's little blue dots there. Hopefully they will set nicely in there. That's used every bit of that resin. Heat waste. Right, let's just give that a quick going over with the torch. And you need to be careful, don't forget, when you're using a silicone mould, because you don't want to burn the mould or overheat the mould, because it will ruin the mould. There we go. I'll wait another about 10 minutes and then I'll do that again, but they should actually set up quite nice. And what I'll do is I will take them out of the mould once they're cured to show everyone what they're like, and I hope you like them. Very easy to make, quick, simple. Used up some scraps of bracelets that I'd made, used up a little bit of bling, didn't really cost me anything in resin. Let's see how it goes. The pendants came out really well, as you can see here, and I'm very pleased with what I've finally got, and I think they look quite contemporary with the clear resin on the top, the metalwork and the bling inside. I've created my own hooks or loops for them because they're an odd shape and it's hard to get rings for them, and I often create my own hoops for my jewellery anyway, so it's quite easy. It's just out of a 6mm gauge wire, so I'm really pleased with those. And this one here I've put a chain on. So as you can see, it's got a chain on it, and it does actually hang quite nicely as well, about the right length. Now, in the spirit of full disclosure, I have to say I did actually completely mess up the mould for this, and I ended up having to cut these out with a blade because, as you can see from this mould, I had to cut them out. And the reason is I broke one of my own rules, and that is I spent too much time going over it with a torch to get bubbles out, when in fact there probably wasn't that need to, because there wasn't that many bubbles. And it ended up fusing the silicone mould to the pendant, and when I took them out I either had to cut them out or it pulled off the little bit for the hole. So that's a warning really, is don't overdo it. I know I shouldn't do it, but I do seem to do it. You know, all of us can have good or bad days. So there we go. Hope you really like the pendants. I think they are excellent. I'm really pleased with them. Thanks. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like and share this video wherever you can. Thanks. Bye.